another episode of D&D Dynamite 80's. I'm DH,
I'm DC.
and we're here to take another fantastic look back at the 80's. DC,
You got that
we
right,
up
man.
early this morning, but I'm
Yeah,
excited.
late night and then early morning. How about it?
There's not
The ball game didn't turn out like we wanted it to, did it?
no. Yeah, getting in at about 11:45 was a little rough last night for an old man, but it's all
I hear
good.
you.
But there's
I
not
hear you.
many reasons I would get up on a Saturday morning, but
This
this
is
is one
one.
I'm excited about. So
I hear you.
I'm
Okay,
not going to sit here and waste a bunch of time just running on with you. I've talked to you all the time,
that's
so I'm gonna
true.
throw it over to you and let's go ahead and get the introductions rolling, and we'll get this one started.
Sure. We have Katie and Ashley from the 80s girls band. They're joining us from England this afternoon for them. So
Yes,
glad to have you guys. How are y'all?
Hi, great to be here.
yes. Thank y'all very much for
We
taking your time
appreciate
to join
you,
us.
spending some time with us.
Not
What
at all.
what got you interested in forming the band and doing this deal?
You originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I've always loved the 80s. I mean, I'm an 80s girl. I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, just all the nostalgia around it, really. And there's not very many female 80s bands in the UK, in the northeast where we live. So,
No, there's loads and loads of 80s bands, and they're all men, really. There wasn't really, but Ashley is married to Paul, our drummer,
I'm married to the drummer. Yeah.
and they were in a band back when you were like, what, 17 or something?
Long time. Over well, 30 years ago, really. 20 odd years ago.
Yeah, and so they were in that, like, doing their own music and things, weren't
Yeah,
they?
we're
And then-
doing original music. My husband's always been in bands since he was like 14. And when I met him, he was in a band.
with Chris, who plays
Christian, the
guitar.
guitarist.
Oh,
They've
okay.
had band forever, and then we met when we were about 21, didn't we?
No,
Through mutual friends, and we I joined the band then, but we sort of left and went off and had kids and
Yeah,
things
children,
for a while.
yeah.
But the boys
Right.
have always had the band, but they've never ever not performed.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Been all over the world, really. haven't
Yeah, they've always done it, but they just sort of, I think they found they were getting a lot of requests for 80s music when they were playing, but not, like I said, there's not many girls doing it really
No.
where we are anyway. So they sort of asked us if we wanted to get involved again and do
It was
the
Paul's
80s girls.
idea, actually. The drummer's idea. It was his idea. Because this,
He's the boss.
yeah, he's the boss. He really is. He organises all the gigs and everything. He's
Yeah.
great, really. So I better mention that.
Yeah. Well,
One of the
that leads
things
me kind of into that next question. There is so much talent that comes out of the UK, and we hear a lot of the UK folks are very, very popular to us and in all genres, Why do you think that is? Do they focus on music in the home, education wise? What makes it so talented of an area?
Pushing you. There seems to be like towns, doesn't there? Like London, Liverpool, Manchester are massive music cities. Maybe not so much for 80s music, but generally just, Manchester's a huge. It's a couple of hours from us. That's a big.
Yeah.
There is a really big music culture there, and if you go to somewhere like Liverpool, it is like that. But I think that goes way, way back, doesn't it? To like the 60s and things like that. But in the 80s, I think British music was probably the most popular around the world, really, wasn't it? With David Bowie and Queen and George Michael and
wow.
like it was just a massive.
Sure.
I used to live near George Michael actually when I was a little girl. I used to think I was going to marry him.
Unfortunately.
Sadly, not.
One of the things I kind of was wondering is
Sorry, you're a bit quiet. We can't hear you too clearly. Sorry.
let me try this again. One of the things I was kind of wondering as I was kind of reviewing some things here was, who are your musical influences? Who influenced you?
I was quite little in the 80s. I was quite young. I was born in 1980. But I was obsessed with Madonna.
Well, I was as
Madonna,
well. Eurythmics are great as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
I
And still
couldn't-
performing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she just, there's nobody like, I know like you got Beyonce and people now, but there's not, it's all very serious now, isn't it? Like there's
Yeah.
Madonna's just like, although she was,
So easy, catchy tunes and
yeah,
the clothes and the makeup and everything. It was just
I
the
was
start of it
fascinated
all.
with her. And then I don't know, like later in the 80s when I was sort of 9, 10, I don't know how big Kylie was in America,
Yeah.
but Kylie was
Yep.
massive
It was in
here.
the 80s.
And I
in the
was,
80s.
yeah, we're really, really into Kylie, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wham.
Wow. Duran
Yep,
Duran.
ma'am. Yep.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Duran Duran's still doing what they do.
Yep.
I think are they maybe possibly here in the States doing something, I think
I
now?
don't know, but our Steve, who's
I
our
know they're
bass player,
touring in some way.
yeah, his wife is really into them, and she saw them last year. They toured here last year, and they were just, she said it was amazing.
Yeah,
It's just still
yeah.
going strong.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I find really fascinating is growing up. I mean, growing up in the 80s, that was kind of our high school years.
Yeah.
But everyone would listen. Like, I was more of like the metal, hair metal type. But
Yeah.
you would listen to everything because there was really
Mhm.
not bad music in
Mhm.
the 80s. Why do you think all of that in the 80s, the different genres of music all came together and just kind of everybody listened to everything? Why do you think that was such a phenomenon?
It's true, they do. They all go together. Do you know what I mean? When you think of the 80s, you think of the power ballads, don't you?
Yes.
But then alongside that, you think of all the synthy sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's all the hair metal and stuff, like the lads love that, don't
Oh,
they? The
yeah.
boys in the band. I don't know if you saw our hair metal video that we did.
Yes.
That was their idea. So they get to like really, really play their guitars and their
Yeah.
drums and things properly. But
that was fun.
I think it like appealed to men and women,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, didn't it? Like there wasn't just a, you know, when you think back to like maybe the 60s and the 70s, and there was bands where the girls were white and stuff, but like what did the boys have? But then in the 80s, the boys really, there was like loads of music that men really, really loved, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And then all the rock and the metal and things came through, and but
Yeah.
women loved it as well. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me, DH. I think the very first concert that I saw in Nashville was the Judas Priest.
Oh, that was
Oh,
an amazing
wow.
concert back in the day.
You're darn
My
right.
first-
I was like
my
a
first
sophomore
was-
maybe in high school, but
Yeah.
you still look
you're talking about a show that stuck out and still sticks out to me, today.
Yeah.
But
My first,
and
was-
of course, Hall of Famers.
yes, my first was Van Halen with David Lee Roth.
Van Halen.
What a
Right.
party atmosphere! is
Yeah,
all I'm
but
saying.
you guys are right. Just the history of the music that's come out of there.
Yes.
Different genres like we were talking about, like DH said about the metal, amazing. Ozzy Osbourne, just
Yeah.
incredible list
Yeah.
of performers.
Mhm.
Interesting enough, yeah, even this week, at the end of one of my classes, I hear a kid on his in his ear pod, and it sounds like an 80s song. So I
Yeah.
stop him at the door and said, "Hey, what are you listening to?" Didn't really have any kind of background information. He just liked what he was listening to. Well, it was a Tears for Fears song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So my point is, I've got a 15-year-old kid, this is about the age,
Mhm.
14, 15-year-olds that I teach, and they're listening to 80s music.
Yeah, so my daughter's my youngest.
How
11.
powerful is that it's
Yeah.
stuck around and continues through all these
It
generations?
does, yeah. She came and asked. She heard a song on TikTok. They're obsessed with TikTok,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
came and said, "Oh, can you put this song on in the car? It's called Everybody Wants to Rule the World."
That's what he was listening
They're
to.
obsessed with it,
Yeah.
and they're obsessed with
Okay.
all
Okay, that makes sense then.
really.
That's where he's heard it. Is probably on
Yeah.
TikTok stuff.
TikTok.
My son
Yeah.
actually said, I wish I grew up in the 80s, Mum. The music is so
Yeah.
cool. It's like, you know,
That's
how-
exactly the song he was listening to. So
Yeah,
that was
amazing.
the influence was off
Yeah.
TikTok, I bet.
And Stranger Things,
Yeah.
we've got
Yes.
teenagers, all of us, and
Yes.
Stranger Things has
Sure.
really made 80s music really cool again. And we watched it with the kids, and it's nearly all British music, really.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
through the whole series. We've just put we put Kate Bush in our set because it became so popular, and we'd always sort of wanted to do that song, but we didn't think it would be very popular because it's quite intense and it's a bit slow, and we thought, oh, maybe it won't be the right sort of vibe. But I don't know if you know, but over here, when season 4 of Stranger Things came out, it was #1 again in the charts for weeks and weeks. So we put it in the set, and everybody really loved it.
One little version of it. So
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's a bit heavier, isn't it? It's a bit more guitar.
So I'd have to ask, if you could pick one band or artist from the 80s that you got to go on stage with, who would that be?
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Wow.
Tough one there, guys.
Or George Michael, because I just love George Michael. I absolutely love him, and I really, really loved it. It's probably one of the earliest things, like, because I lived in London when I was little, and I can remember I must have only been 4 or 5, and I can remember really loving him so much and thinking he was probably the first crush I ever had, and just thought he was so gorgeous.
Right.
And then, but I can remember, I must have been so little, and I can really, really remember it. But then he just, like Madonna, really, he's just been iconic for decades and decades and decades, and he's still, like, the kids now still appreciate
Oh yeah.
I mean, every Christmas he comes back, every Christmas, doesn't he, with his songs. But I think Queen as well for me.
Oh, unbelievable. Yes.
Amazing.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned the way the music comes back around, because last night at the football game, a high school football game, DC, I don't know if you caught this or not, but they were playing Michael Jackson music.
Yes.
And I'm like,
did the Thriller song.
Football game.
Sure. Yeah, and all of them knew it.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. You know, these ages know this stuff inside and out. I'm like, that's
because
powerful,
we were the coolest generation. That's all it is.
It's just it's unreal. Let me ask this as well. We've been very blessed. We've had Kevin Patterson.
Yes.
Was our very, very first interview from Fiction Factory. Just a super guy. Scotland, I think, is where he's at. Mike Reed. Just a great gentleman. So we've been fortunate enough to have, I don't know, DH 2 or 3 folks visit us from England. So, like I said, by the way, Mike Reed is what kind of hit into my mind. Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
The more I watched that on YouTube and stuff, because it's kind of like DH, it's kind of parallel to our American Bandstand.
Right.
That Dick Clark did, you know.
Right.
It's kind of very similar, I guess, kind of shows. But here's what's amazed me as I did, YouTube searching and watch shows, like I said, just the amazing talent that was on that Banana. I mean, endless groups of people that, and I assume, like Mike told me, it was a show that could help boost people's careers pretty quickly.
Oh, it was like our week revolved around Top of the Pops when we were teenagers. Like, you were just obsessed with it.
It was about to start.
You didn't know who was going to be on really that week until you watched it.
Okay.
So it just came on, and then maybe like just before they might say who's on tonight, but you didn't really know from week to week. But everybody who was anybody wanted to be on Top of the Pops. And it like any massive, the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah.
They had Whitney, they had everybody played Top of the Pops.
Even Guns N' Roses at one time.
Everybody did it. And I think there was always a controversy because in and out they used to make people sing live, and then sometimes they used to make people mime. And some of them didn't like it. And so it was always like, are they going to sing live or they're not? But we didn't care with me kid. It was
just wanted to see them.
Like the peak of the week was Top of the Pops.
Right.
Like theme tune.
That's what we put on stage too. The Top of the Pops theme tune.
Our intro. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When we interviewed Kevin, he said that they knew, they were a small town and played pubs and stuff. And he said, when we got that call, he said, we hopped that plane. We knew we had arrived on the scene
Yes.
when they wanted us to be on that show.
Well,
And I still, I run that YouTube of their song when they were on that show over and over and over, because it just,
Yeah.
the electricity they had for it, wanting to be on it and stuff, was, you can see it in them. That's for sure.
DC, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, "Hey, we're going on D&D show. We've arrived." I haven't heard that.
I don't think that's going to happen, man.
Hey,
The
but we
day,
have
hey,
fun
the day
doing it,
that
right?
happens, we've definitely arrived.
Hey, we may arrive, but we're probably going to be way too late.
I'll be late.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, but at least we have fun.
You got it. Yeah, lots of fun talking 80s stuff. That's for sure. What kind of stuff you got going on currently, and then maybe in the future? I seen where you had here fairly recently in October. You had some live events that y'all had done. What you got coming up?
Big event, what we actually organised.
Yeah, we
in
put
our
like
hometown.
an 80s night on, with them. We had a Duran Duran band and a Madness tribute play with us. We had about 200 people, wasn't there? Which is
actually,
it's a really good venue, like a sort of intimate but really good sort of
Is
live
the town
music
called
venue.
Sunderland?
Sunderland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I had read some stuff on it and stuff.
Our accent might not come across very, very good.
Well, I'll tell you this: there is
Manchester
my
and-
better half, and I definitely want to. She is passionate about the England area and all the rain
Yeah.
and the throne, all that, all those.
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
So
We're not
we
too
we
far
are
from
definitely
Scotland.
in our life going to get there and visit around that.
Have to.
It's an
Oh,
amazing,
yeah,
amazing
great.
country that
Yeah.
y'all have.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is actually from England.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah, and her sister was just over here the last 2 weeks. She still lives in England. So the thing that I guess gets me is when they come over to visit. I notice my mother-in-law's accent gets thicker.
Oh,
and
does it?
it really does, and it's kind of funny because she's lived in Tennessee for I don't know 30, 40 years. So it's kind of that Southern English accent mixture.
All right.
You're right.
It's very unique.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that would be the way to describe that.
Right.
What a
Yeah, you
sweet,
do
sweet
feel-
lady. Yeah, go ahead, dear.
I was just going to ask, where can our viewers, where can they find information and watch videos?
Yes,
Now, folks, you definitely need to check out the band.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Fabulous, very talented folks.
Very
Very
talented.
talented.
Oh, thank you. The 80s Girls Facebook page has got all of our videos on that we've recorded. And they're linked to YouTube as well. So if
Sometimes
some of them are on YouTube. So we've got TikTok, Instagram, the 80s Girls. You'll find us, but that's where we post all of our Facebook. Yeah, because you can post the videos on there without too much hassle, really. In terms of like, Twitter and things, you can't really post the full videos and things, but we do on TikTok, and that's where we post all of our information about where we're playing and things like that, and all the big gigs that we do are all posted on the Facebook page. That's where we get most of our engagement, really, with people.
Yeah.
Because it's like such a vast age group, Facebook, isn't it? There's like oldies on there and young ones, so that's the best place.
Right, the popular social media sites for sure. You led me to one last question before we let you go. Your kids, what you said you had kids. What do they think you're the cool parents doing stuff like that?
Oh, they've got
Well,
to.
Got to.
Mine
Absolutely
do.
cringe.
Cringe.
16 and 19. So they've quite grew up with their dad being in a band all of their lives. So I think they're quite
used to it, aren't they?
Yeah. And we've seen him, we've gone and watched him play. So they're quite
Sure.
used to
Grew
that.
up around it.
Yeah. Yours are a bit younger.
Mine is 11 and 12, and they came. So they can't come to a lot of the shows that we do because we're playing in over 18 venues a lot of the time. But we did some festivals in the summer, in like big fields and things, which were really, really cool, weren't they? And so there was one where we said, "Oh, all the kids can come."
Yeah.
So my kids were like trundling in,
But
like,
not like dance on it.
but then by the end when they saw the other kids were like enjoying it, I think they thought, "Oh, we're allowed to sort of like not, we don't have to be embarrassed." They were clapping a little bit, so they're getting used to it. I think they just, and I think when they've seen things like Stranger Things and stuff, and they realise like actually they'll go, "Oh man, you do this, you play this song." They like recognise the music because I have it on in the car all the time, and they know loads of 80s music.
I think when they're at school, they'll be saying, "My mum's in a bar." I think they'll be
Right.
That's gotta be cool stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a definitely a social kick for anybody to say, "Hey, my mom plays in a rock band," or whatever. That is pretty cool. That is cool.
On it.
Ladies, could you stay there just for a moment as we wrap up and get our sponsors in here and get on out of here? All right. We would like to thank our sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More, better known and operated. Also, the Nesting Project of Smyrna, Tennessee. We appreciate all their support. Check them out online. DH, brother, another good one.
Oh, brother, that's another good one. First off, thank y'all for joining us. We
appreciate it, ladies.
Appreciate
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's lovely to talk to you. I'm sorry it took so long to finally organise it.
No worries, no worries. We've been fairly busy too, so that worked out perfectly for us too.
Yeah, DC, brother, another great show. I'm gonna end with this and throw it over to you to close it out.
Sure.
Folks, always remember it doesn't cost anything extra to be kind, so be kind to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen, brother. Ladies, thank you so much, Katie and Ashley. Once again, the 80s girls band, and they're out of England. And like I said, I spotted them on social media. Very, very talented ladies, and check them out. You'll enjoy.
Won't stop.
You'll enjoy their talent for sure.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. The best to you and your families.
Yes. Best
Thank
to
you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Folks,
Bye.
until next time, keep rocking in the 80s.
Absolutely. Keep playing them 80s. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.